Hey everyone, I wanted to do a quick video on Microsoft Loop. Um, okay, so Microsoft Loop was released about 3 years ago in October of 2021. Well, let me not say it was, that's not true. It wasn't released, it was announced by Microsoft in October of 2021. So this has been in the works for a pretty long time. Microsoft and their developers have been working on this, I think for like over a decade, I read somewhere. So what Loop is supposed to do, it's supposed to help streamline the processes between team members, help with collaboration, and help with productivity within organizations. So it's one part of many different apps, or I should say components, that Microsoft has to be able to help teams get work done more effectively and efficiently. I've been playing around with Loop for quite some time now. Well, about 3 to 4 months, and I've liked it. I'll show you some of the things that I've used it for, and you can decide on whether you think it's going to be good for you to use with your team members, or actually, it's also pretty good to just use on your own as well. I've I've tried to use like different tools. Like I've tried to use Microsoft to do. I've tried to use Planner as well. And like each thing has its own drawbacks, right? Each thing has its own benefits, but each thing has its own drawbacks. And I think that in my personal opinion, I think loop, not loops, loop is kind of not being used as much. And I think there are a lot of cool features that it could be used for. And I think that if organizations embraced it a little bit more, I think that it could be really effective. Um, Usually within organizations, I see that they use To Do and Planner, and those are great tools. And also Project. Project is pretty popular. I've seen a lot of people use Project, but in my opinion, Project is really overkill for a lot of things that people want to do. I mean, unless you're really like, tracking to the millisecond everything that's going on within your project, then I think project can be a bit overwhelming for most people. Not to say it's not good, but I don't think I think it's kind of a little bit overwhelming for most people. I think Planner does a better job. I think most people, can easily pick up Planner and use it pretty effectively. Um, the only thing about Planner is that the really cool things about Planner, I think, are more within the team. I mean, the nice thing about Planner is that if you're part of multiple teams, you can add, tasks to different teams within that planner. You can add multiple tasks or tasks within that planner within that team. But if you wanted to create your own tasks and planners for yourself personally, there really isn't a great way of doing that right now. Unless you wanted to use, well, no, there's not really, because Planner at the moment, I think they're going to change this. I think Microsoft is announcing this, but Planner is really attached to a particular team. Now, I do want to show you this. If your organization does use Tasks and Planner, there is an app that you could just add to your teams called Tasks by Planner and Do. And if you click on that, that will allow you to see your tasks and to do, and then you can also see all the shared plans that you're part of. So they'll list them all here, which is nice. But this is actually just another way of putting items into your to-do list or Microsoft To Do. Up here, you'll see that a new planner experience is coming soon to Teams. I'm not going to click on it, but if you wanted to learn more about that, you can click on it. And just by doing a quick Google search, it will like tell you some of the stuff that Microsoft is looking to implement into Planner moving forward. But for right now, this is okay. You have your tasks, you have your My Day. So if you're familiar with Microsoft To Do, then this all is familiar to you. This is kind of it right here, and then you have all your plans here. So like I have under my admin team, like I have a general planner, for instance. Actually, click on here, and then I'm able to set up my planner how I want it. I could do a list view, I could do a board. Um, I can do charts, schedules. So if you're familiar with Planner, then you're already familiar with all of these views. So this is a nice part about having planners. You have this Kanban view that you can have. You don't really have that with Microsoft to do, unfortunately. I'm not sure if that's a feature that Microsoft is planning to roll out in the future for to do, but at this current moment, I don't know of any way to change that view out of the box to Kanban. Um, but that's kind of where Loop comes in. I'm not sure about that. I really wish that these would just automatically um, close or collapse. Every time you go from one screen to another, they automatically open. It must be a setting I have to figure out. But I'm not going to change that right now. So let's do this. Let's open a loop. So if your organization has loop enabled, some don't, but if yours does, then you'll actually see the loop icon here when you click on it on a chat or a team. And this is how you would create a loop. So you click on here. Now there are many different types of loop components that you can create, and this actually gives you a nice breakdown of all of the loop components that they currently have right now. And then if you hover over a particular loop component, it will give you just like a quick verbiage of what it does. So this makes a list that you can edit and collaboratively with. I butchered that. Make a list and edit it collaboratively with colleagues. You have your checklist, which is like just a to-do list. You have your Kanban view, which is similar to the planner view. When you go to planner board, it's kind of like that same layout. Your numbered list, and I can go on and on. Some of these are pretty self-explanatory. The team retrospective, reflect on the project, celebrate wins, and brainstorm improvements. I've never used that. It might be helpful, but I've never actually had to use this. The voting table would be pretty kind of nice if you wanted to do like list ideas, add notes, allow voting to quickly facilitate decision making. And then you have your task list, um, which is a little bit more in depth than your checklist, but it does a lot of the same stuff. All right, so let's start with just a quick bulleted list. So let's say I just wanted to, let's do something simple. Let's do lunch orders. Let's say I wanted to do a list of what my colleagues wanted for lunch for a particular day. So I could say Sally wants a salad. Joe wants rice and beans, or Tom wants tacos, something like that. Okay. So I could just write down, just a quick bulleted list of items here. If I wanted to add like additional information about it, like notes, I could do so. I could say, please ask Tom. Let's say, please ask Sally what dressing she wants for salad. Something like that. Let's figure that up. Okay. So now I've created a list. It says just please ask Sally what dressing she wants with her salad. Cool. So now we have the loop list here. So you'll see the loop list at the top. You have the option here to open this in a browser. So I'll show the browser view in a moment, but I just wanted to go through this right here. So this allows you to select who you want to be able to actually see this loop in this loop component. So if you click on the little drop down arrow next to it, it's going to open up your sharing settings, and you'll be able to select who you want to be able to see this information. So some organizations allow you to have share with anyone. The way that I set up my tenant or my org is that it's automatically defaults to people in my organization. You also have the ability to people currently in this chat. So if I had a group chat with 10, 15 members, then I would be able to say, okay, I only want these 50 members in this chat to be able to see this component. People with existing access just means if they already have access to it, then that doesn't really change. And then the last setting is more settings. It just allows you to select whether the people that you want to share this loop component with, if they're going to be able to edit this information, or can they just view it? And that's it. You just select your settings, you just select apply, and then everything looks good with that. If for any reason you want to delete this loop before, once you've created it and say, okay, this is all wrong, I don't want to use this, I just want to delete it, you can click on this discard right here, and it will just delete the loop for you. So I'll click on that. It's going to ask you, the loop component will be deleted. If you want to confirm that, yes, I do want to delete this loop component, just click on discard, and that's it. And your loop component has been deleted. I'm going to go back to the loop, and let's do, so I did bulleted list. A checklist is kind of the same as a bulleted list. It just allows you to check off items. So I could do something very similar again. So let's do, these are the items I'm going to order for lunch. Lunch list again. And then, Sally, salad. I think Tom I did tacos for. Okay. So Tom wants tacos. Sally wants salad. Oops. Put that out. Hold on. There it is. Same. You could put in, notes on here at the bottom. You could go pretty far. Like I said, you can space down as much as you want. But let's just delete this stuff. It's not necessary. All right. So now I have a checklist that say, hey, I'm going to order this. Let's say that I'm going to be responsible for ordering this lunch list, right? Sally creates this. Sally and I are in a 10-member group. Sally creates this list. She shares it with everyone in the organization. Not the organization, sorry. She shares it with everyone in the group. And then I'm responsible for, basically getting this done. So now she shared it. It's in there. So what I could do is, once I've ordered the salad, once I've ordered the tacos, I can just go in like a regular checklist and just check it off. So Sally's good. Tom is good. I've ordered it for them. Everything is good with those. As you can see, it's kind of like an adaptive card that you'll see in your Teams chat. If you're not familiar with adaptive cards adaptive cards can be used for many things, but approvals is one of them, and also updates. If you ever use updates within Teams, the update app, it's kind of cool. You can actually share your updates with current projects or stuff that you're working on in real time with people. I've used it quite a few times. I think it's pretty cool, and I do like that feature that Microsoft has. If you're not seeing it here, it may not be part of your organization, may not have turned it on. Unfortunately, it's something that they have to decide on whether they want to turn on or keep off. But one thing you could do is if it's not going to be here by default, you can click on apps and you can search for it. And if it's there, then you should be able to just install it and add it into your nav system right here. But so for the loop itself, it just gives you the name of the loop here. So this is lunch list 1. It says, since I just edited this is my information. It's going to appear here. Now, the cool thing is that you can actually see the location of this component. So if this component has been shared in multiple group chats or team chats, multiple group chats are like teams, like team chats themselves. You can click on here and it will show you where all of them are where all the components are located. You can actually copy this component. So let's say I want to copy this component. I want to add it to a team. I can copy it here. I can go to my team and I can paste it. So if I wanted to go to a team and then let's say I wanted to copy and paste this component, There you go. So I pasted it. You can see as soon as I paste the link, it brings up the actual loop list itself. It's up to date, and I can share it in that team. I'm just gonna get rid of that right now. Let's delete that. Okay. And then this just allows you to see who has access. So, once you click on here, it will just show everyone that has access to this loop component. Right now, I'm the only person, so it just shows me. But if you have multiple people, then it will show all of them underneath here. So yeah, so that's one of the cool things about Loop is that it's kind of interactive. It's in real time, so that's that's one of the benefits of Loop itself. It's not very heavy because you could tell it just took a very quick, just created really quickly on the fly. So that's one of the benefits of Loop is that these things could be created very quickly, and that could be shared with multiple people, or you could use it for your own stuff. So one thing that I've used Loop for is to keep track of projects for myself. Um, Sometimes I don't like to keep track of projects within a particular team. I know Planner does kind of the same thing, but there's sometimes I just want to keep internal tracking of projects that I'm working on. So what I've done in the past is that I've just created a loop for it. And normally I'll create a Kanban view. And once I click on that, I'll be able to see, so I'll be able to keep a Kanban view for either a particular project I'm working on or multiple projects. So if I put in here, like I'll be able to title this view work projects, for example. You'll still have the ability to choose who you want to have this, who has access to this. So that remains the same by clicking that arrow there. But now I have a little bit more options. So with the Kanban view, I'm allowed to switch views. So I could switch to a table view if I wanted to, um, away from the Kanban view. If I switch to table view, it shows up like this. I'm going to switch back to Kanban view right now, which is called board. I can filter. So I can search the fields that are in this view if I wanted to pick out just a certain thing that I wanted to see, which is nice. And then the last thing is I could create rules for my particular Kanban view as well. And your rules would be created on your desktop browser, and I'll show the desktop browser section a little bit later on. But now let's see. So let's say I wanted to create a to-do for a project I'm working on. Let's say the project is a workflow. Let's do this spend plan workflow. Okay, I can add the work owner, which is myself. I can select the date that I want it to be done. So I'll select tomorrow. And if I click over here, you'll see that I can see more information. So I can insert a card, I can move the card, or I can duplicate the card if I want, and I could delete it right from here. So I want to put more details into this particular card. So I'm going to click on view details. Now you can see I get an expanded view of what I had before. So let's update this. All right, that's updated. So that's the title. I click on the actual field, and I could either rename the field or change the field type. So right now for field types, I have text, number, date, person, vote, label. Title is fine as a text field, so I'm going to leave it there. Owner. Oops, let's click on owner again. Owner is a person field. And then I can have a label field as well, Kanban, priority. I can also create my own labels also, which is nice. But I'm just going to leave it how it is. You have different stages. So for stages, I have to do, so these are the current stages I have right now on the Kanban. These are out of the box. So you have your to-do, you have your in progress, you have your on hold, and you have your done. You can add additional options if you want. So I would probably, normally what I do is I'll add a component that just says, I mean, not a component, sorry. I'll add a option that just says awaiting feedback, something like that. And then, so I could do awaiting feedback, click on it. So now I've changed it to awaiting feedback. If I have a checklist, so let's say I want some items to be created or things that need to be done before this is able to be moved on to the next stage. I'm going to just create them here. So I could say QA1, make up stuff. Right now I have my checklists, I have notes. And then if I want to add any additional fields, I could do so. And then I can add just comments, notes, and related content. So once I'm done with that, I'm just going to click out of it. Now you'll see that I have another section called awaiting feedback, and I can move that if I want to. So if I want to, let me say I want to move that before, I usually put it on before on hold. So now I have awaited feedback, I have on hold. Now I have this information here. Let's click view details again. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I forgot to mention. So it defaults to gray, but you can choose a different color. So for like awaiting feedback, let me actually update that. So let's say if I wanted to make this, I don't know, purple. Click on that, click out of it, and now you see that it's purple. All right, so, and it works just like a regular Kanban. So once I'm done, I could just move it to whichever stage I need to move it to. So it's nice. From here too, I could create different stages. I can create different groups. So groups and stages are pretty much the same thing. I'm just going to delete this. It's not necessary. There it is. Let's delete this group. And there was one other thing I wanted to show. So that may be it. You just add the cards here. Oh, that's what I wanted to show. So you can add cards in two ways. You can add it by clicking right here where it says add card, or you can go up here and add a card. And then, once it's done, you can type a message to someone. You can say, this is what I'm currently working on. Click send. So now it's in here, it looks good. You still have the same options, to share, to see where this component is located, share it, copy it if you want to. So all of that remains the same, which is cool. I like that. Let's see. So let's create another loop. Let's do a progress tracker. So progress tracker is kind of like the same thing. This you can actually just use, well, you can use this for multiple projects as well. But if I'm using a progress tracker, I normally use it for one project. Well, this is how I do it. So if I have one project that I'm tracking and I have different items for that particular project, then I'll use a project tracker. So I'll say, so this project I'm working on is a spend plan. Let's say I'm working on a spend plan workflow. What I want to do is I want to update name of person on trigger. And then I want to add person's information. Add created by's information. Let's do this. Created by's info to the SharePoint site. Okay, so I have another SharePoint site that I want to add their information to. The owner is me. Status I could put here, not started, in progress, ready for review, completed, blocked. All right. So let's say I'm not started. I could select the date that I want to end this. So the proposed date is going to be the end of the month. And then I'm going to put any blockers. No, I found out the person name is not resolving correctly. I see that the profile field is not resolving correctly. The workflow. All right. So that's one of my blockers for that. My second blocker could be I don't know, duplicate information. Information found. Or I'm just making up stuff, but I just want to show you how this would look. All right. There it is. So these are just the blockers that you can see. All right. You can create as many as you need to. And then, it will show how many items you have. And then, we'll show the statuses of it. So if I wanted to, like, let's say I put one to completed, let's put one to ready for review. You'll see that it has just like a little icons here, and it gives you a nice little overview as what's really going on. And I want to add new work areas. I'll obviously click on new to do that. Scroll back up. I can hide a column if I need to. So if I want to hide one of these columns, I can. I can put rules on it. Could filter, like I could filter the Kanban, so that's not different. I could resort it. I could add a sort. So if I wanted to, it will show like how I want to sort it. So if I want to sort by, let's say I want to sort by end date, right? And I want to sort by descending. You can see it's sorting this by descending end date. So that's nice. You still have the Kanban view, so if you want to do the board, it has that option too. So if I scroll up to the Kanban view I created before, you can see it's very similar, right? So like if I go to table, you can see that this has a checklist and then notes. Let's go back here. So the table. You can add in additional columns if you need to. By clicking on this add button here. Let's see if I can just delete this out. There it is. I just have to hover over it. Not hover over it, click on that whole column. Click on delete column. What happened? Hold on. There it is. Now it's gone. Okay, so this is a progress tracker, which is nice. Let's create another. Oh, I need to send it. Let's send this. I think I did it twice. Don't need it twice. Oh no, I just sent it above it. That was weird. All right, so good to go. No, I sent it below it. Sure, I said above it. All right, so let's see if I know how to create another one. Um, let's do team retrospective. I don't think I've ever actually done one of those. So how does this look? Another Kanban view. Kind of the same thing. You can keep updating it like that. Description, category, votes, so people can vote on it, which is nice. I won't do that because this is very similar to this is kind of just basically another way of doing a Kanban view. Let's just discard that. All right. Paragraph. This is you can actually create a paragraph and just send it to other people to start putting in their information into it as well, or collaborating to make updates. So this is kind of like kind of reminds me of a Google Doc. You know how you can share your Google Docs and people collaborate in real time. Same thing with Microsoft. Microsoft has a Word Online that you can do the same thing too. So that's similar. So I'm just gonna exit that. Let's see, task lists, kind of the same thing as a Kanban because you can actually not filter. You can actually switch it to a Kanban view. You can create a task list here, just a task name, assigned to, due date, bucket. If you wanted to create additional, let's do this. Do hide columns. I just wonder there was a way to create little boards. Okay, you can add groups here. Go back to table. So groups are called buckets. It's like different. Sorry, so much different terminology for the same thing. Buckets, groups, status, the stages. Okay, so that pretty much does the same thing. Exit out of that. Guard. It's Q&A. You can ask a question and ask a new question. So if I say, well, that's actually a title. So I would enter a question here, actually. Yeah. Let me try this again. Yeah. Ooh, come on. Ooh, I don't know who. What was the best movie 2024? Even though I just started, enter answer. And then I could just put I don't know. What movies just came out? Matrix did not just come out. But yeah, you can see you can put like multiple answers there. Sinbad. Movie was horrible. Okay, so you can just answer, you put in more questions, put in more answers, and send it off. You can just see who put in what answer. That's kind of cool. Um, what if you could probably actually put in a voting thing for that too, to be honest. Like a voting table would probably be better for this. But what's your idea? Add pros, add cons, and then people would vote on it. Yeah, it's like a voting table. You could say, what's the best movie? And put in that and just have people vote on it. That'd be kind of cool. Let's discard that. All right. So yeah, so you can see there's multiple ways of doing this. There are lots of different stuff that you could do, but they kind of all follow the same pattern of, table or Kanban views, which is nice. And then The one thing I didn't show is that you can also see this information by clicking on the browser. Not clicking on the browser, sorry, clicking on this link that will open the browser so you can see a more detailed view of all of these components. So I'm going to click on it. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and share the other screen so I can show you how that looks. All right. So when you open it in a browser, it's going to appear like this. So a lot of the information is going to be the same. You just have a bigger canvas to work on, obviously. Loop is just going to be, just you click on it, it's just going to give you like a nice front page where it will give you the list of all your workspaces, recent components and pages. So these are all the components that I've created. And it's nice. It will show me, last time it was opened, and then locations as to where it's located. If I have any ideas, they'll appear here. Then I could click on add ideas components at the top here. And it will allow me to add in components. I mean, not components, but well, that too. But it also allow me to add in ideas for this. So for example, if I wanted to, I can create an icon, add an icon to this, add a cover, make it a little bit more personalized, start typing. This kind of reminds me of a wiki page. So if you've used wiki pages with Teams, I know that Microsoft is getting rid of wiki pages and they're going with OneNote, which I understand. But this kind of reminds me of a wiki page. And you have different templates you can choose from, which is nice. So you can create one on the fly off of a blank page like this, or you can choose multiple templates from right here. These are the top ones, or you can click on the template gallery and it will show you all the templates. So you have 24 templates that you can choose from. So for instance, like project brief will give you a template of project information, like project you're working on, the overview, the goals, team members, deliverables, important links or relevant links, team decision is another template. Kind of follows the same format. You have your questions, you have your background context, constraints, assumptions, stuff like that. So I won't go through all of them, but there are multiple ones that you can use, which is nice. Kanban is just a Kanban board. We've been through that already. Elevator pitch, media list. Then when you click on one, so like, let's say if I wanted to do a project brief, click on my project brief. Well, now I have this template that I can use. I can put in the information I want to put in for this, which is nice. Okay. I don't have the updated version of Loop, but if you want to add them into workspaces, you can say add to workspace. I don't have that right now, but it would allow you to create multiple workspaces that you can add in, your ideas and different components into that workspace. That's kind of just like a way of organizing things and making it a little bit more cohesive. So I like that idea. I don't use Loop enough on here, obviously, to do so, but I actually do use it for work, and I use different workspaces for that. So you have your recents. This just shows you, your recent components that you've worked on or created, and then ideas, project brief, project planning, stuff like that. Up here, you'll have your notifications. I forgot to mention, you have your notifications. So all your notifications, all your workspace notifications will appear here. This will allow you to upgrade to a higher version of Microsoft 365 to give you more options. You can search your loop pages and your workspaces for anything particularly that you want to look for. If you have like a ton of them, this is helpful, obviously. And then this just closes this out to give you more space, more real estate on whatever page you're on. But yeah, I know this video has been quite long, but I just wanted to showcase Loop. I've seen a few videos on it um, on YouTube, but I wanted to really go in depth to show people exactly what Loop is and how it can be used. As you can tell, a lot of the components are very similar. Um, Mostly tables with Kanban views, but it's nice that Microsoft allows you to share it with yourself. You can use it by yourself, or you can use it with other team members. And it's a little bit more flexible than, say, a planner and a to-do list, which I think is very helpful. You're able to do a ton of stuff with loops. And I think if more organizations adopted Loop, I think that it would be very beneficial. And I think it really does increase productivity and creativity, definitely. And it'll be a lot more effective. So efficiency will definitely increase with loops, in my opinion. I've used it, like I said, for a few months now, and I think that it's a very good product. And I think it'll just keep, if Microsoft stays with it and keeps developing it, I really think that it's 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 an incredibly useful tool that a lot of people don't use enough. That I think once people start using it, they'll be very happily surprised by all the stuff that it does. But yeah, I just wanted to showcase Loop. If you have any questions, I'm going to leave my email um, in the description so you can email me directly. And once again, thank you again for watching this video.